Hi, and welcome to Cockitude, Cockatoos with Attitude. Do you have an attitude, Bob? You have an attitude, but Cecil has a whole bunch of attitudes. Yep. What do you say, Mander? Mander says it could be warmer. It'll warm up. It's going to be fairly warm today. We have with us Sugar, who's decided to isolate herself over there. She was getting a little too friendly with Mango yesterday, so I had to break that up.
Ooh, gossip! I can't wait for it.
Yeah, she was. He was preening her, so but his look was not quite the same as her look. But I figured it was. I let him go for about 5 minutes, then I broke it up. So took her inside. She'd been out long enough anyway. And over there we have, who are you? That's Jasmine. That's Jazzy Jazzbird. And over here we have Cecil and Lucy and Snowball, Mander, and Babaloo. KK's busy nesting. He was in the corner and didn't want to come out. He will want to come out later, but he didn't want to come out now. I did
So
try
we have.
bringing these two out together yesterday. That Bob who did his he did his Compton thing, eyeballing. Reminds me of a particular movie where a certain drill instructor says, "Don't eyeball me, son." Um, Good movie. Louis Gossett Jr. won an Academy Award for Best Actor in that movie. I think it was Best Supporting Actor. It's hard to say because he was in that movie almost as much as the lead actor, which is Richard Gere. Our movie quote for today is short and sweet: "Be happy in your work." And I had a bit of an argument with ChatGPT about that because I was confirming that I had the memory of that quote perfect, which I tend to do, and it told me I was wrong. It wasn't in the movie. So I went and got a copy of the script and found it and gave it back to ChatGPT and told it to eat crow. So it said it would take a double serving of crow. That I was right. And it checked several other scripts that were out there and they all had that line in it. So, ah,
So, hello from me to all our viewers, and a special hello to our chatters. We have Tiki Tiki with us. Lisa Banerjee is here. Then Calvin Thurston entered the chat. I think he is happy to see our Bobbly Bob being out. Then we have Dottie Ericsby here. And Falcon Sue is with us. So hello and welcome to you guys. Good to see you.
hello. Hello, everybody. Wing hugs from the flock. Bob's happy he got out here because KK didn't really want to come out yet. So I say yet because he will definitely want out later. But yesterday there was a lot of me telling Bob, no, quit doing that, Bob. No, 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 no. Tossing things
Mm.
at him. Because when he starts eyeballing another bird, you got a problem. So, but he did make it through the whole time, and there was no fight. A couple of times it got close, but
Mm.
KK
So,
had
and
enough of.
sugar and mango.
Hmm. What about
Mm.
sugar and mango?
I'm disappointed that I missed it.
Uh, yeah, all I have to do is bring him in here, and they'll immediately try to
No,
kill
no,
him
no, no, no.
again.
That's
None.
okay. I was
Uh,
just wondering how Sugar reacts because we all were a little bit afraid since I sent you the photos how he looks all hopeful to Jasmine and wants to bring her, and she is just nope.
yep. Well, sugar was just the opposite. Oh, you want a preen? Come on over.
Certainly a happy
And
time for mango.
it never went beyond the head. So I figured in 5 minutes it wouldn't. So if it started preening any lower than that, I would have had to stop it right then. But it was just preening around her head.
Excellent.
You saw the whole thing, didn't you, Mander? Mander saw the
Mm.
whole thing.
Oh, he also spent a little bit spinning around our Manda boy.
Yeah, yesterday they didn't pay much attention to each other. Um, they weren't.
Okay.
They just had other things on their mind. But
Manda.
Mander's
So
not too fond of.
confusing.
Mander's not too fond of my thumb brace, but once
Mm.
in a while I have to wear it.
Yep.
I have a different one for when I'm working out because the stress on the thumb is in a different position when you're pushing weight. But what are you doing?
So Jam and Jamie joined us and Buktiasha. So hello to you both.
Hello.
And it
Bob,
looks
can you
like
say
we
hello?
have beautiful weather. Just a little cold weather by what you're wearing.
Well, yeah, I can't take the cold, but it's going to be, well, I'll be warm enough to be in a hoodie later. I'm sure Mander will be happy about that. Actually, he doesn't
Mm.
like this because this has a hood to it too, but I don't dare put it up. But with him in here anyway, he won't let me. Will you? Will you? Will you? No. Yeah, I thought I would, we'd talk about, I talk a lot about the mechanics of ABA, but actually there's a lot of fun involved too. And that's not something I talk about much because getting the basics across to people is so important. But it is a big factor in what you do. It is a lot of fun when you get the reaction you're working on, and or you see something you didn't expect. Um, Good example. Everybody knows about what happened with Cecil when he was nipping at me, and I taught him to start pawing me. When he takes his foot, they don't have paws, but he takes his foot and he taps me. That's how he gets my attention. And so that whole day after I taught him that, he was just constantly tapping at me. It's like, look, I found a new toy. So he had me laughing that day because he just said, I've got control of you now, buddy. We're always having little battles like that. Lately, he's been taking his main perch in his cage, which uh, on the advice of Dr. Jenkins, I try it. Not all cages have it, but most cages have a 2x4 that goes across. And I just put it in a couple of stud shoes and it just drops in. Well, what he's been doing is lifting it out and throwing it on the bottom of his cage. So I wired one side of that down, and then he started working the other side, and he knocked it down. And we just go through this battle. Now I have both sides wired, and he's trying to chew the wood that's attached outside off so he can get it. This is a battle we have. Um, but again, it's kind of he keeps me creative, coming up with new ways to do things. So, um, and in this case, I'm not going to defeat him. It's his cage. So the best I can do is make it so that will stay up there most of the time. Um, and if inside, that's his territory. He can kind of do what he wants. So he also that cage went through the fire we had in 2010. So it's been recoded and all that fun stuff, but it does have some weaknesses. The funny thing is the door was made because I somehow we lost the door. So the door was made and by someone else, and he managed to break one of the bead welds on that. So I've used that funny plastic I have that you heat up and it turns hard. And I mean, it turns real hard, but he tries to chew that off. So my latest solution is to take uh, it's actually, I used to call them an Adams clamp, but it's a clamp that goes around copper tubing when there's a leak. And I put that plastic on it and then I put the clamp around it and I clamped it down and let the plastic solidify. And now he's working on that. He won't get around that stainless steel band, but he'll think of something. He always does. Keeps life interesting, and when he figures out some way to get around what you do, you just have to laugh. I mean, he's so smart. And I wonder if he doesn't see the game from his side like I see it from mine. In other words, he sees that he's playing a game with me. There's no way to know that, but it sure seems like it. Because when he does something like knock his perch down, he will he'll get down there and stand on it and look at me like, see what I did? What are you gonna do now? Right, Cecil? So there's a lot of fun involved. I always talk about the mechanics of it, but it's not all serious, okay? It's not all structural and clinical. Um, like right now, I'm playing a game with him because I have this brace on that he doesn't like it, but he wants to get petted, so he's tolerating the brace. But aren't you, big boy? Anything to be petted. So I know most people have, if they don't have kids, or if you've had kids, you know that when you see kids playing a game with an adult, they're usually having fun, unless the adult's a pain in the rear, right? They'll be playing shoots and ladders, or they're learning to play Uno or some card game or something, and they're having fun. Well, these guys have fun being trained too, and they have fun training us. As Cecil has found with his foot, where he can tap. He does other things too. That's not the only thing he does to me, but that's the one that we've talked about the most, is him tapping me. So
Oh, Cecil. Lisa writes in chat, I love my boy Cecil. Hmm?
he's quite the boy.
Mm. Mr.
Smart as
Cecil
a
has
whip.
fans.
Smart as a whip with so many different personalities, aren't you, Cecil? He's playing with his homemade gum now. What are you doing up there?
Being watched
Lucy.
closely by Lucy.
Yeah, she's gotten into a game now, but she's playing a game with Mango, and it's kind of like playing with fire. So I have to be careful. She'll get up and just like force her head at him, like preen me now. He'll try to turn his head, the way they will, to try to get preened, and because of her beak, she's not able to do it terribly well. So she gives up, and I her frustration when he doesn't want to preen because she isn't, and I got to watch it closely. But it is interesting to watch those two. I never would have guessed it, that she would get that close to him, but they do appear to get along just fine. Lucy's just a little too pushy, but she's always been that way, haven't you, Lucy? What? Did I startle you? That's hard to do. Did I startle the big boy? Did I startle that snowball? Mhm.
There's no snowbird. He has also been preened already by the pink bird, Mango.
Yep. He wasn't too sure about it in the beginning because Mango is kind of definitely a magpie. He gets all wound up and starts hanging down off the top of the cage and spinning around. And he does these little ballistic exercises where he jumps around. And Snowball wasn't too sure of him, but now they seem to be getting along. Now, Snowball
Yep.
used to, somebody taught him to try to take the freckles and spots off your body. Um, and I worked with him so that he plays with toys, where he plays with frisbees and the lit tops of lids and that kind of thing. And that has lessened his desire to pick at Freckles. But sorry, Bob. What are you doing with your leg? Got an itch there or what? You okay? Hmm? You all right? No ball? It's another playful bird. Now he likes to play games. I mean, he likes to play frisbee. He'll play any game you devise. If you can work on a game that's physical, he'll play it. He also does ones where he vocalizes and you're supposed to imitate him. He plays games like that. But part of the training is to develop this playfulness as well. So in a way, you need to bring out your inner child, not the one from Finding Nemo, the one with the braces, not that child, but you need to you need to play with them a bit. Find out what find out what they like and get them engaged. Because once they're engaged with you, you can get a lot more of the behaviors you'd like to see, and they become happier birds. And sometimes they're going to make the rules. You're not going to make them either. So we call it environmental enrichment, is what we call it. Um, if you translate that into human worlds, it would be like a playground for them. They don't really know what the forest is. They've never been there. So you have to create an area where there are things in it that they find interesting. And it's best if you also find it interesting. So I've seen people who have trained birds to do things like those little rings that you're supposed to put on posts that are for children, that where you stack them up so that you have the largest at the bottom and the smallest at the top. I've seen birds do that. And all they have to do is like put the toy down and throw the rings on the ground and they'll do it. I mean, because they like being engaged. And those that don't think training is that important, after you started playing with them this way, you may see the importance of the training. Certainly, it helps to get to know the bird and for the bird to have something to do besides, figure out if they need to preen. Right, Bob? Hmm? Is that right, Bob? Um, just, are you done? He's been grabbing wood. First thing he had was a pine cone. And he went down and grabbed a piece of wood, and he's just chewing them in my lap. Uh-oh. No, you, Baba Lou. See, you got to watch him. He just screwed up the bottom button on my jacket. Didn't fully break it yet, though. He's a sneak, so he will come up and do one thing while he's actually planning something else. Sad look on his face. See, you like messing with me, don't you, Bob? Always. Oh, easy, easy. Easy. Always likes to mess with me. Get too close to his cage, and he'll reach out and grab you. He's just looking for contact all the time. One, not necessarily physical contact, but he wants you paying attention to him. So, and when you don't, he'll use it against you. But all that's fun, really, if you think about it. It's fun trying to outwit a bird because they can outwit you. And if you don't think so, you'll find out at some point that they can. So ABA is a science. Behavior analysis is a science, but it's a springboard, right? it springs us into action so that we can create situations that are good for you and good for the bird. So if I want to train myself to be more observant, all I have to do is have KK and Bob out at the same time. Because I can't take my eyes off Bob, I got to watch his eyes. And every time he starts focusing on KK, I have to try to stop him. So I'm actually doing, in some cases, I'll redirect him. In other cases, I'll tell him to stop. That doesn't last terribly long. You might get 10 seconds or 15 seconds out of him, and he'll start it up again. But I try to redirect him, give him other things to do. Sometimes it works, and he'll go for 10 minutes without thinking, "How am I going to mess with KK?" Right, Bob? No, I don't really want you down there doing that because you're trying to tear up my clothing. See, he'll sit there and chew that piece of wood with my hand in the way. But the second I move it somewhere else, he'll try to sneak back over here and try to take the button off the bottom of my jacket again. Sneak? Yeah, uh-huh. When I said the second I take my hand away, did you see that? He's waiting for me to take my hand away. And I caught him while he was starting to preen, so when he wasn't waiting, might get a few minutes out of him without him trying to tear up my clothing again. So you're working for shared experiences. You learn about each other in these experiences. So that's what you're trying to do. And try to make it fun. Don't think, oh, I've got to go train the bird again. That's not the way to think about it. Trying to switch the camera here, so bear with me a second. Because I have someone over here who wants to be preened. You want to be preened, little girl? Mhm. Do you? Yeah, I saw you yesterday with Mango. I saw that. And it's too bad they can't be allowed to form a bond, but I've seen it. We don't want that. Not in captivity. It's not a good thing. Like that one guy who told me he had an Amazon and he thought the bird was lonely because he was, gone for 8 hours, 9 hours a day. So he brought in another bird and then he said, "Well, no, the birds, both of them ignore me." I was like, "Hello, boy. Have you had any friends that got married? And how often do they call you as a single man after that?" Generally, not much. What are you doing? What are you doing, Bob? Yeah, I got a couple of minutes out of him. He's back to trying to mess with my coat. So when you're training something like targeting, it doesn't have to feel like training. What you're trying to do is like using a stick or something. They make these little sticks with balls on the end. I don't know how well those work with parrots, but you know, when they touch it, it's like a game. Okay, you touched it, you won the game, right? So you reward them for doing it. You pet them or you give them a little treat. Well, that's a game. It's the touch the stick game, right? But we know in ABA that targeting is important because getting them to follow you where you want them to go is the key to training. Getting them to do that willingly, okay? Not forcing them, but getting them to do that willingly. Okay. I missed the spot. There we go. He brought up another piece of wood. It's funny. Cecil takes that particular toy apart to take that waxed string out because he likes to play with it. And Cecil picks these up and chews those. He picks the other part of the toy. Another good thing with these is some of them have larger holes, and you can stick a little cork in them, and then that's what Lucy likes. She likes to pull the corks out of these things and chew on a cork.
Jocelyn Triggle and Richie Cockatoo joined us meanwhile in chat. So hello and welcome to you.
Hello. And by the way, the movie quote is be happy in your work. Bob's happy in his work right now.
So everybody's allowed to put guesses in the chat and I will read them to Don. If you have any idea.
Bob, do you know the answer? No, he doesn't know. See, I'm going with the flow here too because KK he wants to nest right now at this time of day. So, but when I go back in and I start taking other birds in, then KK wants to come out. So, or Bob will come out anytime he can get the opportunity. And he's good with all the birds that are in here. He's just not good with KK. Doesn't seem to have a problem with Mango because Mango stays by himself too. Mango's not coming over trying to, stake out territory near me.
Oh no, poor Falcon says I'm betting zero on movie quotes lately. Sad smiley.
Aw. This is an older movie, but it's not black and white. It stars someone who was in the movie Network.
And Lisa is also telling, I have Rico's pic posted on my locker. I can't believe how many people will say my mom, grandma, family, or friends have a bird and they don't know the species. And they also say they want a bird. Yeah, that's a typical.
It is. You often don't realize what you got until you have it. And unfortunately, with birds, it's like that one piece I wrote where I talk about uh, these horrors that someone is going through, and you think I'm talking about birds, but I'm actually talking about the people who get them blindly and don't realize what they're doing. And it is like that Twilight Zone where you pay $1 to get the love potion and $10,000 for the shoe polish. They never quite tell you what the shoe polish is, but you know that it's something that will stop that person from loving you, probably stop them from breathing too, but they never actually say that. And often there are people who are like, "Oh, you can take my bird," and that should be a sign. Why are they saying that? If they've got a bird that is obviously sold in bird stores for a lot of money, why are they just offering it to you? Ugh. It's usually not benevolent. So I'll find anyone who will take this bird. Hi, sugar. My baby. You're waiting for me to pet you. I'm sorry. But they can be a lot of fun. I mean, it's not like I'm not bored being around them. They all have their various personalities and we play together.
Mhm. So Eleanor is here. So welcome, Eleanor. And she has peaches on her office wall, and a colleague called Peaches Majestic.
Ah,
That describes the peach well. But also the sugar bird, huh, Shuggy?
there aren't many. I don't imagine there's many birds that like to talk on FaceTime. So
Mm-mm. Peaches was absolutely unique in that.
she was unique in a lot of ways. Uh, Sneaky. She could be sneaky though, and getting down off the couch was one of her favorite things to do to sneak around me. But it was an accomplishment whenever she did it. She felt like she'd won something, so that's good. She actually never did anything that I ever considered to be um, inappropriate. Sometimes we will look at a behavior and we'll like to look at watch Mango for a while. A lot of his behaviors look inappropriate, but considering he was a breeder bird and not acclimated to humans, I mean, he's not afraid of humans. He's afraid of hands. But he doesn't have. When you look at him, you can tell he wouldn't care if you dropped dead. Humans don't mean anything to him. It's other birds that mean something. So he goes around trying to strike up relationships. That's what he does. He'll strike up a relationship with any bird if he can. Will you quit trying to eat my coat? Thank you, Bob. My coat. My coat.
Mm.
Pest. Pest. Really cute pest. Hi, girl. But try to have fun when you're training too. I mean, I've heard people say, "Well, I got to train 3 times a week." It's like got to. No, you're gonna have fun training 3 times a week. And besides, if it's not fun for the bird or you can just have them do a behavior they're used to. Do that a couple of times, and you can end it. The training sessions don't usually go long anyway. The official training sessions, you're always training to some degree. Anytime you're around parrots, you're being trained and they're being trained. So, no guesses on the movie, huh? Okay, I'll have to give us some clues.
Oh, wait, maybe I've missed something. I'm a little bit, I'm not even know where my cursor is. I might catch a cold, so my brain is obviously also affected or shutting off right now. Let's see, have I missed any guess? Falcon Sue says no clue. Now we talk about Peach. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, my next clue is they're not just whistling Dixie in this movie.
Eleanor is wondering if Mango misses breeding or if he's glad to become a bachelor again.
There's a story about him that he was in a fire with his mate. His mate died in the fire, and he hasn't really been the same since. That's the story. Again, with my training with Dr. Friedman, you take stories with a lump of salt, um, but they have no reason to be lying about that. So, but most breeder birds are looking for mates. That they're like the birds in the wild. All these birds are wild, but they're like the birds who live in the wild in that regard. If they don't have a mate, they're looking for one. Um, Lucy, what are you doing? Yeah, she needs a drop in her eye again. I just ordered more of the ketoprofen for her eye. She
Mm,
doesn't need it
Lisa
terribly often, but
want to know if the quote is from Jimmy Stewart.
no. Mm-mm. This will probably give the movie away. The quote is from Sesu Hayakawa. I'm trying to go lean on my hints, but are you trying to take that apart, Bob? It looks like you almost had it apart. Mm-hmm. I was trying to take this, turning this so this will fall off. That was what he's up to. Hi, Bob. You're a good bird. Bob's a good boy. Bob's a good boy. Yeah, he is. Yeah, Bob's actually, when he bobs his head like that, he's agreeing with me. When Salamander does that, it's just that. When Mander does that, it's just the opposite. Bob has his human cues down, the same as the humans, but Mander does the opposite.
Okay, we have guesses. From Falcons to Bridge on the River Kwai. Did you get it, Don?
The bridge on the River Kwai? You really think so? Excellent. Well done. Yes. Tetsu Hayakawa did it, I'm sure. Um, that's probably the only movie that everyone, well, that's most notable that he played in, but he was great as General Saito. And the hints I gave where I said I was trying to be lean on quotes, the movie was made by David Lean. They're not whistling Dixie, they're whistling something else. They come in whistling, as my dad called it, the Colonel Boogie March. One of the all-time greats in that. Alec Guinness plays a great role. William Holden does one of his finest performances. Um, a lot of good actors in that movie. But if you're looking for a star performance by a woman, you're not going to find it. It's set in a Japanese concentration camp where they're building a bridge, and there weren't any women in the military. At least fighting in the military. So the Alec Guinness performance was the. I'm trying to think without giving it away. For those who haven't, I can't believe nobody's seen that. People haven't seen that movie, but he does an amazing performance in that movie. So he doesn't just in his life say, "Go with the force, Luke." Are you creating some wind over there, Jazzy Jazzbird? You are? You're creating some wind? Jazzy Jazzbird with the jazzy song. The jazzy song. You're a little early, aren't you? You're supposed to be sleeping during the meeting.
Yeah. Maybe she is just a little early because later she has to go. She needs to catch her flight. She is invited to my budgie's party tomorrow.
She'd go if she could, I bet.
My budgie has its 5-year anniversary tomorrow.
It's good to celebrate things like that. I wish I could remember dates. I don't,
Yeah,
though.
not your strength, I know.
No, time is not, as I like to say, I'm not into time. In fact, for many, many years, the movies I remembered them, they didn't have to be good movies, but if they dealt with memory and time, then they were on my favorites list. And I didn't
Mhm.
figure that out until I figured out that I had this special type of memory. You can't really call it a memory deficit because generally it increases your IQ. You just don't remember yesterday. You don't have any visual memory. So someone says, visualize this. And you want to tell them, how do you do that? You're kidding, right? Visualize something. I'm supposed to hold an image in my mind. Yeah. It's like Tibetan Buddhism is completely outside of my realm. You're supposed to visualize being one of these Tibetan gods. Impossible. Can't do it. Some people have that issue, and it's just the not being able to visualize, and that's called aphantasia. But SDAM is where you don't actually recall the day before. What are you doing? You become a good note taker, right, Cecil? Oh, Cecil says, I'm a good note taker. I take them and I chew them up. I take them and I chew them up. Hey, Cecil, you're not using your foot to get my attention.
Oh, is he holding hands?
He hasn't
Or
yet.
is
He just came over and did his little head twist where he looks up at you with his big eyes, and that's
he
another way he
wants?
gets attention. But another
Oh,
good actor in that movie is Jack Hawkins. He plays the quintessential Brit. I mean, you can't. I mean, the dry humor in the conversation between William Holden and Jack Hawkins, and when they're asking him if he'll go back to the concentration camp, is absolutely wonderful. You could watch that scene 100 times, and every time it'll get you. So there's some tremendous. Thank you. I wanted that donation, Jasmine. I don't think I can save it,
a
but we can
pink
try.
feather. Actually, one of these ultra pink.
Yeah, I threw it outside the aviary, but I'm not sure that we've had a little bit of wind today, so it might go away, but we'll try to save it. If I leave it in here, it'll get destroyed. So, what are you doing there, girl? You want to come down? Well, come on. That way you can
If they
bump
lost their
Cecil.
feathers here, I swear they would end up in the outside bird's nest. Because my budgies are molting right now, or have molted now, they basically finished. And I've collect always the feathers and just put them outside. Sometimes they just also get somehow with our clothes or so outside. And then when I empty the nest boxes for every year, I find in the nest material always embedded the budgie feathers. I mean, they just glance out like blue and these really intense green or yellow. So the outside birds are basically like, oh, that looks cool. Let me impress my lady. But really, in every nest. So I've never found a nest around here in the nest boxes who hasn't had any budgie feathers. So they are quite popular.
You guys. He's being nice to her, but she's not being too pushy right now.
So Falcons got a little trauma from that movie, but she was pretty young then. The
Yeah,
scene when prisoners were shot in the water traumatized her.
yeah, it actually doesn't have too many horrifying scenes in it, but there are a few. Um, it's just it's a strong psychological drama, but lots of twists and turns and things you don't expect. But it's not. It's also a movie that doesn't. It doesn't glorify war, which a lot of war movies do, and it doesn't make one side look better than the other.
Eleanor doesn't agree with you, Don. She says the whole movie is horrifying, Don. What the feather?
I don't think it's horror. I think it's a great movie, but
Well, it can be a great movie and it can be horrifying at the same time, probably.
well, let's see. Prisoners aren't being starved. Um,
Do not spoiler the whole movie.
I don't know, I'm just thinking that there isn't a lot of the horrific things that we've seen in the last 20 years. We're not seeing that there. So, but to each their own. I mean, some people will find it horrifying. I mean, there's a couple of things that happen in it that aren't terribly pleasant if you're claustrophobic, but um,
Mhm.
fine performances.
Eleanor says she already spoiled it in the chat. But the good thing is I can see the chat, but I think I miss every second message today since somehow my eyes are burning from the cold I get. So not terribly good seeing today. Great in overlooking.
You're not allowed to get sick.
I know.
Got another one, Bob? Yeah, that's the ones Lucy likes because you can put corks in them. Are you going to try to get Bob to preen you? I don't think he will when he's chewing wood. No, he gives you the tail end. That figures. I'll walk away from her. That way I won't have to preen her. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Mm. The look on Babalu's face when the pink bird approaches, and there they go.
Come on, camera. Turn back on. There we go. Try to change the angle.
Oh, Bob.
He's just trying to get away from her. She wants me to preen.
So, do the birds like the movie?
They've seen it. They haven't commented on it. There's nothing much there horrific for the birds. There's one scene with a kite that might have bothered them a little bit, but
Mm. Is Mango still looking just the pleasant movies?
No, he's starting to get the other movies. They don't seem to phase him now. So
Mm.
he watched Fight Club yesterday.
Oh, well, when one can preen sugar for 5 minutes, one is ready for Fight Club.
Now there is something about movies everybody needs to know. If you're looking at a movie and you see that, like at Green Tomatoes, they have it really low, like it's not that popular. A lot of that is actually being forced. They use bots to draw it down. Fight Club is usually listed on a scale of 1 to 5 as a 3 or a 2. There are other movies. Just if you look at Joker, which uh, Phoenix won Best Actor, right? They had that at 63%. Oh, that's BS. I mean, I look at that right away and I go, there's a three-letter organization involved in dropping that down. Um, yeah, they'll actually do that. They'll make movies that they don't want you to watch. They'll drop them down so that you'll look at it and go, I'm not going to watch that. That's only got a 63%. You know. Now it is possible that some people just don't appreciate the movie, but I don't think that number is valid. The same with Fight Club. There's another movie but any movie that has anything to do with standing up on your own and being an individual, standing against the norm, they'll drag it down. And some movies like that can't even be made in the USA. They made V for Vendetta in England. So I'm not sure.
Well, when you consider the end, yeah, it is like the politicians, the certain systems probably do not appreciate it.
Well, I also found out that they pay these film companies to change things in the movie. They give them money, or if they need some kind of let's say they need military vehicles or they need something from the government, they'll have them change the script to make it look better. The end of Hannibal, where I don't want to give the movie away. I won't watch it because I know they changed the ending. In the ending in the book, um, they don't or they don't like that ending. They don't see that as possible. All FBI officers are all good people. They would never do anything like the end of the actual book. So so they change it in the movie and they get money. This is a verified fact. I'm not just, blowing wind here. So when you see some of these endings that don't make any sense, if you've read the book, that's why. That's one of the reasons. That's not a creative thing, it's money. So, but the bridge over the River Kwai is just it's a good view of the issues that were going on at the time, and there's a great storyline to go along with it. So, and Bob would tell you all about it if he could, but he's busy playing with things on the ground. Right, Bob? Cecil, tell everybody why they call you guys hook bills.
Is Snowball and Manda hanging back there?
Yep. And
Cool.
Cecil's showing how to use a hook bill. He's hooking onto things with his bill. So
Yeah. He might can do tutorials give to Rico. Rico is also playing now with toys and making his own toys. I
that's
think
a good.
Lisa has written that earlier.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I mean these guys are so creative. Just given the opportunity, they'll do all kinds of things. But It's hard for us. We kind of get stuck in the
Bucket
in our way of
boys.
thinking. So, and a bucket boy and these two are running over. What's going on?
No idea.
What's up, Mander? Oh, you just want me to preen you? That's what that's all about? Jazzy, Jazzbird. Jasmine. Hi, Jazzy.
Having the flappies. But now she not only has the flappies, she also flies short distances. So,
Yep, she
yeah.
does.
Mm.
They could fly the whole length of this if they wanted to, because I've left the center open, but no one's done that yet. Walking it like Cecil does, yeah. Mango's done that from one end to the other. Snowball does it from one end to the other.
Is not even Lorelai flying around?
She maybe half the way. She hasn't flown the whole thing.
Mm.
If she gets in a situation she feels nervous in, she does what a bird in the wild would do. She flies away. The rest of these guys try to figure it out. What am I going to do? Of course, Mander can't
Mm.
fly, but no ball.
So Lisa has to go to work. So bye, Lisa. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Lisa. And Mango's he's gone magpie in there. He's yelling and screaming. Well, he knows he's coming out later, so
Mm.
to get him out, I got to get the female umbrellas out or female Moluccans out. So,
Mm-hmm. Especially
although
Sugar.
especially Sugar, yeah, it could have gone either way, but she once he started preening, it's like, wow, somebody, hey, you're not going to eat my coat.
Mm.
She was going right for it, so we know what Jasmine will do. She'll tell him to go take a hike, but become a camper, go take a hike. That's what she does. She probably could say it in English. She's got such a beauty. She speaks so wonderfully, not that anybody's ever heard her except me and a few people who happened to get her attention. She was chasing one person around one time going, I love you, I love you. And they're like, what is with this bird? Hi, Snowball. Well, I guess I gotta look at my watch again. Yep, it's that time. Well,
Yep.
guys, thanks for being here. And
Oh,
remember
voilà.
to be happy in your work. It's a good time to review the code of Bushido. And thank you, Amy, for moderating, and Eleanor for moderating, and Cecil. Where'd Cecil go? Cecil, you're gonna, oh, he's over there drinking water. Say goodbye, Cecil.
Having a sip.
He's
Okay,
having a
thanks
sip.
for coming, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it, and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
The Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a nonprofit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.